With Percival finally awakening his magic power, he unveils that he has a special type of magic, dubbed hero type, that is something that is only a once-in-a-generation type of power. With this, he takes on Pelgart, an established and powerful holy knight of Camelot, and he is holding his own. It isn't revealed that Percival is a member of the Four Knights of the Apocalypse, a group that is of prophecy only, which means he is not technically a part of it yet. That group will feature the child of Meliodas and Elizabeth, and that is Tristan. You have the child of Ban and Elaine, which is Lancelot, and we have the child of Zeldris and his partner, which will be a very exciting group. And if this is the new group, and this is the group who's supposed to go and take on King Arthur, does this mean that Percival will actually surpass that of the 7 deadly sins and their power? Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Broku. Thank you guys so much for all the support. You guys have been killing it. I want to say, I'm really sorry that I could not get the 7 Deadly Sins video out last week. I had it fully recorded, a thumbnail made, about 25% edited, and then the day I was going to upload, I think it was uploaded, I can't remember, it was either Tuesday or Wednesday. Then some in real life stuff happened and it dragged out to the point of where I wouldn't even be able to upload this video till yesterday. And the new chapter is out now, so this video did get dragged out. But what I'm going to do is kind of just talk about the topic just plainly of Percival and the other knights surpassing the 7 deadly sins and Meliodas. And in a sense, that way, it will also be talking about in the chapters, because it's based on these 2 chapters, so it makes me think that Percival and possibly the other 4 knights, or the other 3 knights, will surpass the 7 deadly sins and Meliodas. So, if you guys do have been enjoying this video, please leave a like. Let's shoot for 1,000 likes on this 7 deadly sins, 4 Knights of the Apocalypse video. Subscribe. That being said, let's get into it, guys. So, Percival, he awakens his magic power against Pelgart, the Holy Knight of Camelot. And once Pelgart awakens it, it is insane because Pelgart doesn't know what type of power he has. At first he's like, is this destruction? And he's like, no, this isn't destruction. It's granting magic power. That would be an incantation. And then after that, he's like, well, what is it? He is just trying to figure out what his magic type is. And Percival is doing very well. Even Pelgart is incredibly impressed with Percival's power, as he states that his magic is adapting very quick, and he's adapting to it, and he's just awakened it, and he's already learning to control it. So if you take that in, that just remember that in order to be a holy knight, you have to have a power level of 300, and it would later be revealed in this chapter, in chapter 5, that not only is just Pelgart a holy knight, but he is a high-level holy knight, specifically entitled to protect King Arthur from the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse. So he should be, I would say, at least stronger, or at least as the level of Gilthunder from 7 Deadly Sins, who was like over 2,000. And if we know Percival is a 16-year-old who just awakened his magic power, who's barely done much fighting at all. He did train with his grandfather a little bit, but this is his first fight. And he's definitely probably fighting a holy knight with the power level of over 1,000. He's at easily over 300, but if we just look at this and compare, Meliodas was like over 1,000 years old, and he is a demon, and I think just based on what we have of Percival now, he probably has the potential to get even stronger than Meliodas later on. Now, we'll get back more to that as we talk about more of the events that happen, but also, Percival creates like basically miniature clones of himself. They're called magic golems, and he's doing it unconsciously because Pelgart had knocked him out, and he's like, well, is this a degeneration type magic? And again, Pelgart cannot determine what his power is, even though Percival has been burnt to a crisp by Pelgart's insane magic power, but Percival just starts healing himself. Again, he just unwaked his magic power, and this is where Pelgart's like, destruction, incantation, degeneration, healing, not one of these apply. And he said, perhaps this is the magic that belongs to 1 out of 10,000 people. Now, and this is a translation of it, but some other translations I've seen online have said that this is a once in a generation, or only one person like will have this. So this could be much more valuable than 1 out of 10,000. It would make sense because it's something we haven't really seen before, but that is called hero type. And because of this, this means he might be, according to him, one of the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse. Now this leads into the next chapter, where the fight just keeps on going, and Percival, his power is just barely awakened. Because of this, he should be weak, but no, he is fighting very well against Pelgard, and Pelgard even admits it. He's like, you managed to grasp and use the control of your magic. I admit it, you are strong. And this is a 16-year-old Percival who just awakened his magic. He doesn't really even know how to use it. He didn't even know what magic power was a couple chapters ago, let alone if he had it. But it's real that Pelgard was holding back. He was only using half of his power, and Percival's friends are now kind of scared for him. They don't think he can win, and his friend comes in, levitates him away, and he wants Percival to run, but Percival wants to know about his father, so he stays, and it's probably not the best decision because Percival is just a rookie, and Pelgard was not going all out in their fight. But Pelgard would break away from the levitation and would come to attack them. But that one fox from Chapter 2, and who had been watching Percival fight Pelgard, would arrive, and he was carrying Percival's bag of items. And while he's really confused, like everybody is, they're like, what is this fox doing here? But the fox would pull out an item and teleport them away. And they're on what looks to be a giant skeleton type mountain thing. They're apparently 30 miles away from the battle they were just in. And now this is a talking fox. It starts talking. And he's like, I just saved you. Don't do anything reckless. Don't go back into the battle. And they're really confused of this talking animal in Britannia. This fox explains to Percival that he is a member of the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse. Before that, he kind of talks about how Pelgard is a special knight, as he is a Black Knight that serves an evil king as part of the group who targets the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse. So, like I said, he is not just a regular Holy Knight. He should be a high-level one, because he's directly under King Arthur, as we see in this panel, as King Arthur, and it calls him an evil king. And I wonder if that's because of the chaos power where we left off with in Seven Deadly Sins, is maybe he is evil. That would be a cool twist if King Arthur was evil. And it kind of should be, because they're kind of been painted that the 4 Knights of Apocalypse are evil, but that's exactly how the 7 Deadly Sins were. That's how they were portrayed, to be evil. But they weren't. They were good. So what if it's the same way with the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse? I think they will be good. And it says that the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse will destroy the world, but again, I think that's not going to be the actual prophecy, just like how the 7 Deadly Sins were actually the good guys. 7 Deadly Sins were sounding like an evil group. They were the good guys. The 10 Commandments should have been like a good group. They are the bad guys. I think it's going to be the same thing with the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse. And it is for sure shown that Percival is one of them. He's actually death of the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse. And it shows 3 other members. Now, these other members, we know them. We have seen that this is Tristan, that's Lancelot, and then I don't think we know the name of Zeldris' child, because I'm pretty sure that's who it is there, because it does look more like Zeldris' child and not a child of King and Deanne, which I thought we were maybe getting, but this is going to be a crazy powerful group. Now, the reason why I think that they're going to get stronger is because this is a sequel to the 7 Deadly Sins. I believe that the author even stated this is over 10 years after, so this group is probably going to be way stronger. Now, I don't think they're going to be stronger from the beginning, like when they get, but I think by the end of the series, or even maybe midway through, especially if they interact with the 7 Deadly Sins, they will be stronger, because they should be, just if you think about it, this is Meliodas and Elizabeth's child. Their offspring should probably surpass them. This is Bon and Elaine's child. Their child should probably surpass them. This is Zeldris and his wife's child. Their child should probably surpass them, because they are different. There's going to be like kind of like, I guess, hybrid relationships. They're probably going to be very powerful. And then you have Percival, who should be on their level, or at least relative to them, because he's a part of the group, and he's the main character right now, so he'll probably be the strongest of them all, at least at some point. So that's why I think that the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse will surpass the power of the 7 Deadly Sins, because they are a new group, and they have like these hybrid versions of the 7 Deadly Sins characters. Like I said, they have Tristan, the son of Elizabeth and Meliodas. You have Lancelot, the son of Bon and Elaine. And then you have this character here, who should be the son of Zeldris and his wife. I believe it's a vampire girl. Those are going to be powerful combos. And then you have Percival, who's already this strong. He's beating up on a holy knight who is a higher level member. And Percival has this hero type magic, which is another reason why I think the 4 Knights of the Apocalypse are not going to be evil. Now, one thing to add on is that Percival is this strong. Just I think what happens if he just trains more. Then he gets maybe some armor set that's like magical. Then maybe he gets his sacred treasure, which amplifies and augments his power, and it's like a really powerful one. Remember, he just learned his magic. He actually hasn't even learned it. He just got it, and he was beating up on, sure, a half power in Holy Knight, but still, that's a Holy Knight and probably a high level one because he is designated as protecting King Arthur from the Four Knights of the Apocalypse. So just think of what Percival could be a few years from now after training, fighting strong opponents, learning how to use his magic, getting a sacred treasure, getting other items, maybe transformations. He will be insane, and I think he will surpass Meliodas. But you go through, Percival is the death of the Four Knights, Zeldris' child is the war, you have Meliodas' child being plague, and you have Bond's child being starvation. So, interesting. I wonder how that's going to work, if that's going to be like maybe a special power they have, or what exactly. But I think it does pretty much add up that these characters will surpass the Seven Deadly Sins. I think it's going to be a ways away, obviously, because if you just look, base Meliodas would probably just clap Pelgart, like no diff, even from the earlier on in the series, not even current Meliodas, but these characters will probably surpass them just based on who they are and the fact that they're in a sequel manga. I think they will surpass them at one point. And I wonder if the mangaka is playing the same type of thing where when it first showed the Seven Deadly Sins, they kind of look different, like in their posters. I wonder if Tristan, Lancelot, and Zeldris' kid are all going to actually look like this, or if they're still going to be smaller. I wonder how that's going to work. Now, I guess this could be Deanne and King's kid because of the spear, but it just really, the actual outfit and the look makes me think far more of Zeldris and his wife. So I think that's who it's going to be. It could be, but I think it'd be almost cooler if that is actually Zeldris' child and not King's, and that child will probably be introduced at a later point anyways. But yeah, I love these two chapters, so I could kind of combine them into one. I think they're really good. We're 5 chapters in now. This series is really picking up. I'm really loving it. I'm glad to have Seven Deadly Sins back in my life again. And Percival is expanding upon me of how I like him. He is a lot like original Dragon Ball Goku, so I really like that. And then I can't wait till we meet more and more of these Four Knights. It's going to be really exciting. And when the lore plans out, we get more of King Arthur, probably maybe Merlin, maybe the other Seven Deadly Sins, and other side characters from the Seven Deadly Sins that come in. And honestly, I still think that Pelgart might not be completely evil, because he just said he didn't want to kill. He did not want to kill Percival. He wanted to take him in and train him, even though Percival is supposed to be one of the Four Knights of the Apocalypse. So that makes me think we definitely don't know everything, that these prophecies should not be 100% correct, because Pelgart should want to just kill him so that he never gets killed, or he never kills King Arthur, or even his other friend knights that are protecting him. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I tried to compress these 2 chapters together. Hopefully next week we'll get its own chapter review, something like that, as long as I have the time. But remember, I do have a full-time job. Besides, YouTube is just my side gig and hobby. It's my side hustle. But please do leave a like if you'd enjoy, comment your thoughts, subscribe. Let me know how strong you think that Percival and the Four Knights of the Apocalypse are going to be. I think Percival is going to be stronger than Meliodas. I think that all the Four Knights, they will surpass the Seven Deadly Sins by the end of the series. Maybe even sooner, but definitely not in the very near future, but eventually they will. That being said, hope you guys all have an amazing day. Plus...